something happened last week. Something I didn't believe would ever happen since I made up my mind last year that it was my art career and nothing else, no matter how hard it gets. But I think there was a moment of mental defeat last week. Okay, before I give the full before I tell you the story, I have to give you the context. That's for those that just see me for the first time, right? So I'm a visual artist. I paint, I make films, I design, freelance. Yeah, these are the three places that I channel my art, my creativity to. I want to do more later, like interior design, architectural design. I have to study properly for that because I am self-taught. Like everything I do right now, I tell myself, and I can also say YouTube taught me. So back to my story. Last week was a very hard time for me, and last week wasn't the first. It's usually like that. I usually have hard times, as an artist whose sole means of income is freelancing, and the freelancing world is quite tight right now because of the economy and all that. So, like I said, it felt like a moment of defeat. I don't want that moment of defeat. But last week was hard. I was supposed to I have a lot of projects at hand right now, like a lot of personal projects at hand right now that I'm supposed to do. I mean, filmmaking projects, but no resources, and I need resources for logistics, to pay models, and probably to rent a camera because most of the things I do are shot on this phone I'm using to shoot this right now, and it's an iPhone X, so you should understand that 5 generations back, that's what I'm still using to do what I'm doing. And that's what I used to make my last short film slash campaign. It's called Breathe, and you can check my channel and you're gonna see it. And I'll probably link it at the end of this video, right? So back to my story. I needed money last week for a lot of things. I was damn broke. I think I'm still broke till now because what happened even made me more broke, right? And just as it felt like my world was crashing, a message came in on my LinkedIn. Yeah, of course I have a LinkedIn. I have digital skills that uh, I offer. Yeah. I learned digital marketing at some point. I learned graphic design and UX design, right? So a message came in. It was from a human resources manager, HRM, from one of the big firms in Nigeria. Like when I mean the big, like they host the biggest music festivals in Nigeria. That was like an offer you just can't turn down. Because I was broke, bro. What do you expect? I needed money, and it felt like it was God answering my prayers. Meanwhile, it's a deviation from what. Meanwhile, it's a deviation from my initial plan, but it still felt like I can adjust myself into the plan. Do you understand? It still felt like I can adjust myself into the plan. I was like, okay. And to cut the long story short, I took the offer. I have gone for the interview, and when I asked the interviewers, because there was like 3 different people that interviewed me, two people that asked if I did well, because I had the opportunity to ask told the interviewers if I did well, and they were like, yes, I did well, and that's it. Like that's all I've done right now. I don't know if they're going to give me the job for now, right? I am waiting for. I am waiting for. I am waiting for their reply. I'm waiting for a message, hopefully. And right now, I do not know if I'm going to take the job or not. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to take the job or not. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to sway, right? It's okay to sway. It's okay to adjust your plan if it's not going as planned, or if an opportunity comes that doesn't seem like it was in your formal plan. It was your like it was your original plan. I don't feel defeated right now. Like I said, I'm still considering if I'm going to take the job or not. But there's something significant that happened. There's something significant that happened, right? I had lessons that I took from that experience. And the first lesson is that you shouldn't that the plan is not what's the word now? The plan is flexible, that's the word. The first lesson is that the plan is flexible, right? Because it was a creative job and it was definitely going to help my creative career in a lot of ways. I'm going to get experience, I'm going to meet people, and I'm probably going to elevate from there, right? And and that experience and that experience or lesson I got from that whole experience uh is remember I said I asked for feedback after the interview. So one of the interviewers asked for feedback from the interview. So one of the lessons I learned that actually the first lesson is that your plan that the plan is first lesson is that the plan is what's the word again? The plan is flexible, right? And I learned some other lessons, so I'm gonna take them step by step, right? So the second lesson I learned was this, because I had the opportunity to ask, like I said, my do you hear me? I had the opportunity to ask for my performance at the end of the interview. And the interviewer gave me a honest answer and said I did good, but he gave pointers as to what I could do better. So he made reference of me while talking using analogies, and he suggested that I should use analogies instead. I should use my experience, right? I should talk about my experience instead. And you can see that I have obviously taken that advice, and that's right now my experience. But I'm obviously taking that advice and I'm giving you guys a story based on my experience. So that was like the second thing I learned. So that was like the second thing I learned. Second lesson I took from that whole experience. So the third lesson I learned was it's quite simple, but it's not totally a lesson, but it's something I learned about myself. So at some point during the interview, right, I noticed the interview became more of a conversation than an interview. I'm not going to say it's not my first interview, so you guys don't get me wrong. I understand how interviews work, right? But it's not my first interview, so you should understand this. That I understand how these things work. Sometimes it feels like conversation, but this was conversations went way off the interview. We started talking about God at some point, how it's how God doesn't make mistakes, how He gives you what you need at the right time, how there is nothing like delay, that God's just there's this divine timing, right? Because we talked about my background a bit, of how I was from family that didn't support my creativeness or creativity, or didn't know how to harness it. Right? We talked about that for a bit. So I think the conversation was way more than an interview any longer. It's expanded into more of some personal conversations, which was nice. And I noticed that I'm a good conversationalist. It's me, please. I noticed I'm a good conversationalist. Come on, guys. It's the truth. That's why I noticed that I'm good at holding good conversations, because Whatever I do it from the heart. See, that's one thing I learned. So that whole experience also brought me to, like, I was reading something yesterday. Okay, so guys, I finally, yeah, I have a couple of books I started reading recently. I finally finished this. I know it feels like I'm late to the party for creative people, but this is something I'm going to recommend to all creative people. Did I just say all creative people? Everybody who's trying to do stuff. Like, I don't care your field right now. You might be a doctor, but this, as long as you have something that, you want to achieve with yourself, I'll advise this. So it's Keep Going by Austin Kleon. It's a series actually. Just Keep Going. There is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon still. I've not read this. I've not read this. I've opened it, but I've not read this. And there is Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. I've not read this, so you guys shouldn't say. But I hope by the time I read this, I'll be a better person at creating art, not person in general, right? So it's something from this book that the whole experience reminded me of something from this book. And here's what it says. It said, here, someone says, you are allowed to change your mind. I don't know if you guys can see this, or since I'm reading it out loud, you can hear it. You are allowed to change your mind. So that whole experience, when I read this, it reminded me of the whole experience. You're allowed to change your mind when you're doing this. Like right now, if you notice, I'm trying to clean off this part of the painting. Right? Yeah. Yes. It was me who painted it. It's not like there was a mistake somewhere, but it's not going to fit into the general message of the overall painting, right? It's not going to fit into the message of the overall painting. So I'm changing my mind because I want the end goal to be perfect. I know there's nothing like perfect, but at least close to the message, right? So with that said, and with all that I've said throughout this video, it's fine to sway. It's fine to sway from the initial plan. It's okay, but take lessons, guys, and take lessons if you sway from the initial plan. Just take lessons, take as much lessons, and let the lessons make you become a better creative, make you become better at whatever you do it. And I only want to take too much of your time and my time so I can get back to painting and doing this thing as perfect. So I'm doing this better, right? With all that said, I'd love to see you guys next time. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I've got more videos for all of us, right? I've got more videos for me because I do this for me at the end of the day. I've got more videos for you guys. And I love you.